People fail to realize the King James Version was published in 1611 AD. Protestant translators sometimes did not have access to all of the received Greek official texts, and being familiar with the Vulgate, they often put words into their translations based upon the Latin, which were not in the Greek. In at least 80 different places in the New Testament alone, the King James Version adopts Latin readings not found in the Greek text. Don't get me wrong, the translators did the best job they could with the resources that they had at the time. This next series will be a small sample of errors found in the interlinear Greek English New Testament translator. 1. The King James Version omits this text, which was in original Greek. Matthew 27:49, quote, "And another took a spear and pierced his side, and out came water and blood." Matthew 28:1 should read, quote, "Now late on Sabbath, as it was getting dusk towards the first day of the week." Example, the Sabbath does not end at dawn, but at dusk. Luke 2:14 should say, quote, "Glory to Yah in the highest, and on earth peace among men of Yah's good pleasure," or choosing. Example, huge difference in perception now, huh? John 1:17 should say, quote, "For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came by the Messiah." Example, Moses did not proclaim his law, but Yah's law. Acts 12:4 has an incorrect word Easter in place of the correct word for Passover. Funny thing, the Greek word Pesach is translated correctly in Matthew 26:2, which could only mean Easter was intentionally put in to deceive the masses. 1 John 5:7-8 contains additional text not found in the original Greek. It should only read, quote, "For there are three that bear record, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these three agree in one." Example, now I know I just burst a couple of bubbles with that one. Most modern translators agree that the additional words was an uninspired addition to the Vulgate to support the unscriptural Trinity doctrine. Here's another bubble burster. According to the BibleResearcher.com, or you can look at any reference book, they all say the same thing in this case. Under Mark 16:9-20, quote, "Mark 16:9-20 has been called a later addition to the Gospel of Mark by most New Testament scholars. The main reason for doubting the authenticity of the ending is that it does not appear in some of the oldest existing witnesses, and it is reported to be absent from many other in ancient times by writers of the church. Moreover, the ending has some stylistic features which also suggest that it came from another hand. Example, this makes sense now. Why? Because it finally clears the Messiah of being a schizophrenic. Why? By telling the apostles not to go but into the house of Israel, then turn right around and tell them to go preach to everyone is, well, that's schizophrenic. Please remember, Matthew 28 was written based off the writings of Mark. As long as I am busting bubbles, check this next edition out. Acts 9:5-6, quote, "It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he trembled and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him," example, wait a cotton-picking minute. Not only do they have three different accounts of this tale, but now we're finding out they made the whole thing up? Haven't any of you self-respecting Hebrew Israelites ever researched this?